guys, it's Matt Paul here, and I'm stoked to present to you Polybrute 12, a 12-voice morphing analog synthesizer with our innovative aftertouch keyboard technology called Full Touch. In this video, you'll learn about its most important features, hear how it sounds, and experience its expressive power in action. Polybrute 12 offers the same voice architecture and hardware features as its smaller brother, the Polybrute 6, but boasts 12 voices of polyphony and our unique Full Touch MPE technology, allowing you to play up to 12 notes simultaneously in the most expressive way. The features transferred from the Polybrute 6 are its oscillators, mixer, envelopes, filters, LFOs, mod matrix, sequencer, and arpeggiator, as well as morph and expressive controllers like Morphe and the Ribbon on top with effects architecture and connectivity. But with Polybrute 12, all this comes enhanced with double the voices and unique keyboard capabilities. This combination of tested functions and new expressivity technology brings several benefits for musicians and composers who want intricate and expressive chord progressions, as well as enabling dynamic melodies and rich layers of sound for a deeply engaging experience. Paired with the innovative Full Touch MPE technology keyboard, the 12 voices of polyphony also mean advanced expressivity, where up to 12 notes at a time can produce independently modulated sound depending on your playing style and modulation settings. And just like the Polybrute 6, it's supported by the same two powerful oscillators, delivering rich, expansive sounds. These analog voltage-controlled oscillators offer multiple waveforms, shapers, tuning selectors, sync, and frequency modulation options. Both oscillators share saw, triangle, and square waveforms controlled by dedicated knobs for balance and waveform selection. Classic Brute waveform shaping is present, including pulse width modulation and the Metalizer triangle shaper on VCO1. VCO1 features continuous frequency sync, while VCO2 includes a sine wave sub-oscillator and frequency modulation between oscillators. Additionally, both oscillators include a noise generator with adjustable color for versatile harmonic capabilities. Other voice parameters such as filter FM, noise, mixer, VCFs, envelopes, and LFOs are also the same as in Polybrute 6. For a detailed overview of these, make sure to watch the Polybrute 6 tutorial series, which you can find on our YouTube channel in its dedicated playlist. Unique to the Polybrute 12 exclusively, its Full Touch keyboard senses pressure on keys after they're played and held. This functionality is known as aftertouch. Yet, Polybrute 12 extends aftertouch capabilities beyond standard keyboards. While most keyboards employ monophonic aftertouch, where a single sensor under the entire keybed applies aftertouch modulation to all notes, Polybrute 12's Full Touch MPE keyboard offers polyphonic aftertouch and much more. This means that each key has its own dedicated pressure sensor, enabling expressivity on every note. These advancements are unparalleled in analog synthesizers. The aftertouch button cycles through 3 settings: Mono mode that offers monophonic aftertouch, which remains useful for some patches. Poly mode that offers polyphonic aftertouch, which applies modulation as set up in the modulation matrix to each key separately. And the alt mode that opens a menu to access the full touch MPE technology algorithm. Here you can choose from 3 very innovative aftertouch technologies: full touch envelope, full touch, and full touch plus Z. A unique thing for all these algorithms is that the notes are triggered instantly upon touch, which is earlier than in how a traditional keyboard mode reacts. This allows for much more subtle and gentle playing, guaranteeing a more intimate and expressive, immersive playing experience. In full touch envelope mode, you're controlling both VCA and VCF envelopes with aftertouch. This mode enables fingertip control over volume and timbre. Press the note slowly for a gradual attack or quickly for a faster one. Technically speaking, in the full touch envelope mode, the full touch range signal is routed to the VCF envelope modulation matrix lane, and the classic aftertouch range is routed to the aftertouch modulation lane. In full touch mode, the aftertouch signal is utilizing the full key travel from touch point to the keybed bottom. In full touch plus Z, similarly to other old aftertouch modes, the aftertouch signal is split into 2 ranges instead of using the entire key travel for one modulation lane. Each Polybrute 12 preset combines 2 simultaneous sounds, A and B, each with its own unique settings for filters, envelopes, and LFOs. This feature allows one to set various parameter values for states A and B, and then morph between them with the use of the Morph knob and Morphy, offering endless blending possibilities. Let's hear it in action. This innovative feature is exclusive to Polybrute 6 and 12, allowing for dynamic sound sculpting with just one control. Stored with each preset, the Morph knob's position serves as the baseline for modulations affecting both sounds. It determines how A and B are modified when knobs or faders are adjusted, with sound parameters shifting gradually from A to B as the knob is turned clockwise. In Morph mode, the Morphy's x-axis morphs level parameters while the y-axis morphs pitch parameters. Sweeping Morphy from the bottom left to the upper right transitions from sounds A to B. Notably, while the Morph knob influences both axes, Morphy's movement only affects the sound currently selected by the knob's position. The modulation matrix acts as a versatile patch bay for routing modulation sources to destinations on the Polybrute 12. Nearly any parameter with a knob or fader can serve as a destination, offering extensive creative possibilities. Arranged in a 12x8 grid, modulation routes are organized into rows A to L for sources and columns, and 1 to 8 for destinations, with 4 assignable banks accessible via buttons 1 to 4. Each route can have its own destination, and multiple routes can share the same destination, providing up to 64 connections within 32 routes. Here's a quick example of how you can modulate something like the modulation intensity of the effects module with LFO3. Polybrute 12 has 3 voice modes available: polyphonic, unison, and mono. In split mode, the upper and lower keyboard zones can have different voice modes. To set the 2 zones' voice modes, for the upper part, use the polyphony button as normal. And for the lower part, hold timbrality and press polyphony to change the voice mode for the lower half. You can also define the number of voices used by each zone in unison mode. To do this, navigate to Settings, Synth Voice, Voicing, and Unison Voice Count. Voice allocation modes determine how many voices the Polybrute 12 uses and how they're stolen during playing. This is something that can be configured for each patch. To access these modes, you hold Settings and press one of the voice mode buttons. Depending on the polyphony mode, poly, unison, or mono, you'll be directed to the corresponding allocation page. In poly mode, accessed by holding Settings and pressing polyphony, you choose from options like polycycle, polyreset, or polyunison. Polycycle uses voices sequentially, starting from the first available voice. Polyreset uses the first available voice repeatedly until it's stolen. Polyunison dynamically allocates voices for unison playing in polyphonic mode, distributing voices between notes as you play, giving you the best of both worlds. In unison or mono mode, accessed similarly, you can set options like priority lower or legato on, defining how the voices are handled based on the played notes. For unison mode, you can also adjust the number of voices used. The timbrality modes change the keyboard layout for sounds A and B. In the single mode, the keyboard has one zone. Each note triggers one voice that can morph between sounds A to B. In the layer mode, you can choose from the morph layer mode and from the stereo layer mode. The morph layer turns the keyboard into one zone with 2 morphing voices per note. If the morph control is at 0, sound A is doubled. When it's at maximum, sounds A and B are layered. Then in the stereo layer, 2 voices are allocated for each note played, and it pans them left to right. Finally, in the split mode, the keyboard has 2 zones. The lower zone is always sound A, and the upper zone can morph between sounds A and B. Polybrute 12 features an intuitive polyphonic sequencer easily initiated by pressing the record and play buttons. Or entering the step recording mode with just the record button. All notes played are recorded and looped, offering 64 steps of creative possibilities. You can adjust the tempo and gate settings to tailor your sequences. It also has an onboard arpeggiator for dynamic melodies triggered by your playing. plus a unique matrix arpeggiator which combines the functions of both the sequencer and the arpeggiator, offering more in-depth control over your patterns. Polybrute 12's onboard effects section offers lush digital effects like delay, reverb, phaser, chorus, and flanger. And you can fine-tune your effects by accessing its parameters. There are also a few distortion algorithms available, offering various flavors of saturation and coloring. On the rear panel, you can find the stereo master output, sync in and out for synchronization, 3 pedal inputs for expression control, MIDI connectivity, a USB Type-B input for the computer, and to connect to our Polybrute Connect software companion. There's also a power socket with an AC cable. And that wraps up the overview. With unique full-touch MPE technology, robust analog 12 voices, precise filters, dynamic envelopes, lush polyphony, unique aftertouch technology, and expressive morphing features, the Polybrute 12 has everything you need. Once you engage with it, time seems to stand still as the music comes alive. Give it a try and experience it firsthand. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you saw, please make sure to subscribe and click the like button. And see you soon.